100 sharp. Do we have any citizen communication?
No.
Did everyone get an opportunity to look at last month's minutes? Do I have a motion to approve said minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? George. All right. Discuss, moving on to the report of the report of the Friends and Family. Judy? Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Friends of the Library report, they had their annual meeting last month, which went over really well. They got some new members, which is great. They had about 25 people there, I think, which was a decent number of people. Presentations were given to the Friends and the people there about library activities and some of the things that the Friends partner with the library on, like the Greater Austin Reading Coalition grant that they got, the Success by Six program that they're working on, and various other things. So some presentations were given by our youth librarian, one of our youth librarians, Melissa Grzybowski, and our adult librarian, senior adult librarian, head of adult services. Their titles are so long. Betty McDowell, on some of the things that she's been working on, including, if you haven't checked it out, the awesome seed collection and cuttings collection down there in the Texana area, where you can exchange seeds for your garden or pick up a cutting and leave a cutting. So that is that. And they continue to support the library through programming support.
All right. The library director report.
Okay, so my report is, well, okay, before I start on the written report that I gave you, quick update. The library now has a new assistant city manager who's over the library, and that is Emily Barone. You met her when she came to do the planning and development services presentation. She has now been promoted to assistant city manager, and she oversees the library, and we love her, so we're super excited about that. Not that we didn't love Trey, but Trey has moved on to be the city administrator at Westlake. So Emily has gone into his position, and there is a new planning and development services director also. So last month we went to the Texas Library Association's annual conference. We go every year. Most of the people who attend are professional library staff. We do on occasion have some of our paraprofessionals come because there are things that they can benefit from, continuing education, that sort of thing. And next year it's going to be in Austin, so we're going to bring a lot more people. And our professional librarians are mostly on committees or roundtables. They're officers on these committees and roundtables, which I'm very proud of, and they do a lot of the presentation. So they're the ones educating other librarians. So I'm very proud of them for that. So I included some of the things that they presented on. Little Maverick graphic novel reading list showcase. That was Melissa Grzybowski. The bilingual story time, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it, for monolingual librarians was Carmen Lazo. And Daniel and I presented on building trust and reducing anxiety in your staff. And Betty McDowell did adult book pairings for programming. And then I didn't put it on here, but our other adult services librarian, Meg Miller, also had a presentation. She had one of the speed dating presentations. So that's where you go around and you talk to different people about their programs that they're doing. So super excited about that. Last thing on this, I signed up for continuing education today, and I watched most of it, but I'll watch the rest of it tomorrow, on freedom audits that are going on around the country where people come in and they demand that they be able to record people at the library, et cetera, which is perfectly within their rights. We never tell people they can't do that. But they also have to respect the privacy of the people that are here that don't want to be filmed. So it's a really good continuing education opportunity for dealing with those kinds of situations where you're protecting everybody's rights. This person has a right to do what they want, but they're filming. The other person has a right not to be filmed. They also suggested that we have library board look at this in case somebody came to the library board and say, complaining that either they were filmed or they wanted to film somebody. So I will pass the recording on to you guys as soon as they give me the link to the recording. Right now, it's the live version of it, and you have to have a password to go in. But I believe they're going to send me a copy of it that I can download and then disseminate to you guys. So I'll do that.
Why did they want to come into the library?
They just go to different public buildings because I'm assuming, I don't really know what the reasoning is, but I'm assuming that there have been instances where people go to a public building which, if it's a public building, it's a, I don't know how else to say it, free speech zone, I guess. So they have a right to go there and practice their free speech, and that's fine. But I'm assuming they've been doing it in other cities where they've met resistance from people saying, oh, you can't come in here and film, but actually they can. So I just wanted to educate myself a little bit more on the law. I think it would be good for the library board also to take a look at it. It's fairly short. And also I'll have my staff look at it again, although they are aware. They're pretty aware. But a little extra reminder doesn't hurt. It just really goes over the nuances of that particular freedom. Like, you have the right to do this. This person has a right to say no. I don't have the right as a library director to say you can't film here, but a guest using the computer has a right to say you can't film me. So it's all that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Were there any programs or information from the conference that you guys thought was valuable to bring back here?
I did attend a few programs that I thought were pretty helpful, and I'm pretty sure the staff did too. Some of the ones that I go to are generally going to be dealing with policy or censorship or copyright, that sort of thing. I'm going really to the more administrative ones. My staff goes more to the programming ones designed to develop new services and programs for the library.
Do we have any other questions on that topic? All right, moving on to the status of librarian luncheon and the timing of marketing for student liaison.
Yes, so we talked at the last meeting about having a luncheon for the school librarians and the library board and the librarians here. And I passed that along to my librarians, and they actually already had a meeting scheduled with the school librarians, just a brief, this is what we're doing for the summer, please pass it along meeting. And they talked about having that luncheon. And everyone came to the consensus that it would be best to have it early August before the next school year, because right now everybody's crazy with testing and they're trying to get through the end of the year. So they suggested having it around August 3rd or 4th. They haven't pinned down the exact date, but as soon as they do, I will let you guys know. They're thrilled to have you guys come. And that sort of ties in with the whole marketing. Okay, good. I thought I saw a hole in the little wall there, so it took me a second. So that's going to tie in with getting them to get the word out about the student liaison. And really that liaison wouldn't be starting until the beginning of that school year anyway. So they don't tend to show up during the summer. So, yeah. So that's that.
All right. I'm just going to throw this into Rachel thing in now.
Yeah.
Between sections here. One of our members of the library board, Rachel, Heath, has stopped showing up. And Jennifer was nice enough to look through the bylaws of our group. And if she does not notice or anything for 3, she just gets removed. She's reached out, there has been no contact back. I hope that she is okay, but that is a long, absence. So she's going to be dropped from the board. This is not something that we need to even vote on. And that brings our alternate up to no longer alternate. So you can maybe
Now a
change
voting
her sign
All
too.
right. Yeah, and I spoke with the city secretary today. I also lost my alternate on the Equity Commission. He did let me know that he had to resign because he was just too busy. So those openings will be posted and they'll be recruiting for people.
So congratulations.
Congratulations.
I hope everything's okay.
So,
Yeah,
I hope
that was
she's-
my worry,
I
but that's
hope
a
so too.
long
Yeah.
not response that,
so since it's an elected position, will they wait until next year, or will they feed us an alternate right away?
They'll put it out right away, yeah. It's, they just need to be appointed by the council, yeah.
Sounds good.
all right, continuing on with our 2022 Library Services Survey discussion.
Okay, so in your packet you have, and I apologize, I didn't get them out sooner so that y'all had more time to look over them. But we're not in any rush to put these out, so take your time. The digital equity one, we've already discussed. I just wanted to give you a copy with all of your suggestions and your edits in there. Make sure that I got everything correct. But there's a children's services one and then a separate teen and young adult one. So I'll give you guys time to look those over.
Which one are we gonna start with?
We'll probably start with children's.
Okay, we'll start with children's.
I have also sent these to the youth librarians to look over for any suggestions or edits. They have not had a chance to get back with me yet on that.
I wish there was some way, like, with this, if you could say that it's like 0 through 12 at the
I
top,
can,
do you see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because
Mhm.
if you don't know that there's not also going to be a teen YA thing coming, I could see people filling it
Mhm.
out going, "Ugh, but I don't apply," over and over again. Jennifer?
Mhm. Oh, we are not the Kilgore Public Library. We are Pflugerville. Yeah. And I hope, I know that Holly had given me some questions. I hope I got them all in here.
Yeah, I think some of them were more general than, like,
Well, some of these I grabbed from other libraries
Yeah.
also who had put out
but yeah, I think
similar surveys.
Do you want to gather any information about the summer reading program?
I can, yeah.
Like maybe if they, because they're supposed to learn from that through their school librarian, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Like,
maybe did your school librarian tell you that we have a summer reading program? Or, so you know if that information's being passed down?
okay, so like, maybe, do you know about the summer reading program? Where did you hear about? If yes, where did you hear about it?
Right.
Okay,
I would pick the word either children's or youth, but not keep going back and forth.
that's a good point.
is this inclusive of the teen program or is that?
No,
No.
the teen one's separate.
Yeah, that's what I said, I didn't say it very loudly, to have her put like the ages on there and say something about, and there's also a teen one, because I can see parents going, why are you leaving me out so many times, not knowing that there's another one out there?
I'm hoping, and I may be wrong, but I thought when we were talking about it that you guys wanted, like maybe a posting for the survey and then they could choose which survey they wanted to take?
Yeah.
And they could take multiple if they wanted, correct?
Right.
Okay, so that's how I'm gonna ask for it. I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that, so.
I was wondering if we could come up with the idea, or how do you put it? Let's say there's gonna be 4 surveys total. Let's pretend that's what we decide on. And you make the page, the web page, it has all 4 day 1, right? So you send out the children's, because we decided we're doing that first. You send that out into the public, and it's got a reference on it, hey, and you can go to this page and take it online rather than here if you'd like. But all 4 of them are already there. The second 3, we can hone as we go along, but they're at least initially there at that point. You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying?
I think that's what we had
But we
talked
can
about.
make them better before we actually send the next one
I
out.
gotcha.
But at least have them there from the get-go, so. I think 14 can be a yes, no, perhaps, or something along those lines. We don't want to leave many of them freehand.
I was gonna
Have-
suggest for 14, because it sounds a little leading, to maybe reword it about like, how concerned are you about safety, and give them options, or how comfortable do you feel in the library? Just
How
the way-
comfortable do you feel? That would be great.
Because something about do you feel safe, like, might trigger, like, is there a reason? Has somebody
Yeah, I
said they
get
don't
you.
feel safe here?
15, I think, oh, well, you're done.
Okay.
Instead of have you ever not been able, have you ever been unable? Because those,
I gotcha.
Going back to 14 though, the comfortable, that could be more than just safety though. Comfortable,
Right.
Are the chairs comfortable? So if you're
Yeah.
looking specifically at safety, you might need to
yeah,
find a way to
true,
specify
stick with
that.
safety, yeah. 15,
You could just change 15 to say, how often have you been unable to get resources you need? And make 2 questions into 1.
Yeah. Okay.
16 is a
Actually,
yes or no.
21 is related to 15 as well. I don't know if that's what Matt was referring to, or are you talking about 2 parts of question 15?
I think those are 2 different questions.
The 2 parts of 15 is what I was.
Well, I don't know. Could be.
You change 15 to 20 and have one right above the other. Kind
Yeah.
of lead into that second one.
I could.
Yeah.
But I do think they are definitely different, though. Have you
Possibly.
not been able to get the resources? Have you wanted a book and it wasn't here? Have you wanted a computer and the computers were broken? That's, to me, that's not able to get my resources possibly. Whereas the barriers for you to bringing your children, I don't have a ride, I don't have, I didn't know I could bring the little ones at any point in the day.
Or I have 5 little ones and by myself.
Yeah, one of them's a mom question and the other one's not necessarily a mom question. Like, I could come here without my child and not be able to get resources for some reason. Say someone's using the laser printer or something.
Well, this second half.
Not being a mom, I wouldn't see that, but it's.
We see everything based on what can we do with our kid.
Yeah. To me, they read like the same question though, so. You
I
might
can
want, you
reword
might
it
want
one.
to add a qualifying word or 2 somewhere, either in 15 or in 21, in case a dad is filling this out.
Yeah, I think parent is
Sure.
fine.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, just, I can see what he's saying. The second half of 21 talks about accessing resources again, whereas 15 also talks about being able to get the resources. So I see the redundancy that you're talking
Right.
about.
Yeah, I can reword that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could also offer those options, like it doesn't need to be open-ended necessarily, like you could say, we could add,
Childcare.
childcare or physical access or,
Transportation.
right.
Hours of operation. Something broadly financial. I don't know how to, you want to say funding, but you know, like, the implication, I can't afford gas, or I can't afford the time off work to go there, or some kind of monetary. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll try and find a way to word that. I can see somebody saying, well, I don't live in the district and I can't afford a out-of-district card, so I can't go to the library. I mean, I can see somebody thinking they couldn't come here and still use all our resources.
you could do the kind of like we were doing on the questions last month, the kind of the advertising in the question where you say, are you aware that we have loads of free services?
That's a good idea.
Is question number
Except-
one, all the youth programming that there is? Is there anything besides what's listed on there?
No, there's tons of other stuff. I can't list everything.
Okay,
We do 150 programs a month,
really?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so I was thinking like maybe a question at the end where you had a checkbox, and then you could, while you're gathering information on what programs they participate in, you're also identifying them what programs there
Right.
are that they might not know
Okay.
You mean
What I
like a
could
drop-down
probably,
list?
of. Well, yeah, or like, just to click this box and check, say, yes, I've done the summer reading program. Oh, I didn't know they had.
what I might do is have it linked to that children's page on our website that has,
Yeah,
That's a great
has the types of programming we do, and then a link to the calendar.
okay, also want to pluralize all of them or none of them, but that's just me
Okay.
being me, how I do. But like, story times I can see as being a group, but, and summer reading program is a simple thing, but children and youth programs, maybe break it up into educational versus entertainment, just to get that idea out that you could come here just for the fun of it. Like, I feel some people just associate
Yeah,
libraries with
some-
like research. Or,
I agree.
That's one of the things
With
I
our
look-
kids program, they're very intertwined, the
Right.
education and
Oh, sure.
the entertainment. Sometimes with our adult programs, it's just fun,
Yeah.
but there's always a reason behind it.
17 and 18. Is that, I don't know, I'm kind of fuzzy on those. Is that something that's really, what do you feel you will get from that? That is,
I think what I'm trying to
Useful.
get from that is, what do people have in their heads what should a library be in people's heads? Because I think a lot of people, particularly in this, and I'll probably just get that answer, in this type of group, this group that has very young children, they think in terms, as you said, of what can I do with my kids, and they don't think beyond that with the library. And I think as people age, and their children age, they forget about the library because they associate it just with story times or kids programs, and there is a ton more. There's a ton more, yeah.
I just think
Guilty.
if you could, this library, that's the reason I'm sitting here right now, is because I did stay with the library. The library did not blow us off when my kid hit like 10. Like, then we just dove further in and learned so many more cool things and pet animals and do all this stuff that, got Chance's attention. Because, little boys can't be bothered, so accidentally taught him some things.
So I think that's where I was going with that. I obviously missed the mark with it, though, so
Well, if we-
suggestions on that would be
No,
great.
no. If they could be worded a little differently, I know how normally we word them the same to make it easier, but it puts them too close together, I feel.
Okay.
What 3 words should describe a library? A library, just like kind of make it shorter, and the next one, which field describe it like our library, or something, I don't
Okay.
know. I want them to really see that difference.
I think question 13 is kind of the same as question 1, unless you're trying to gather other information from like the parents on
Yeah.
how they might engage with the library.
And also, I didn't really include on-demand story times, virtual on-demand story times, which I probably should. They're now, well, I take that back. On-demand children's programs, because story times, you start getting into a real muddy area there. We were allowed to do story times from the publishers during the pandemic, but that they have stopped that now. So people can't go online and look at the story time they looked at, a year ago. But they can still do children's programs. So I should probably put something in there about online
Yeah, virtual.
activities.
Yeah,
Because if your kid's sick and bored, hey.
yeah.
Number 16, do you have a virtual newsletter? I know before the pandemic, we had those like paper, like brochures or whatever you could pick up here. Is that what you're referring to when you say newsletter, or is that something else?
It is a brochure, but
still have those,
we
or-
don't do those. We do a QR code now. I mean, we can print them on demand.
Oh, no, I'm not
but,
suggesting
yeah.
you do. I just wasn't aware that you were still doing them. So
No.
I don't know if there's like a
Like
link
a
that you
lot of
could-
these I just grabbed from other libraries, so.
Or like city newsletters too.
Yeah.
Like it's not
I- I
just.
Key to the city, yeah.
Yeah.
Key to the city, just say social media or key to the city.
Yeah, we were trying to be a little more green. We were printing hundreds of color brochures, many of which just ended up in the trash. So now we do QR codes.
It's very good.
I just meant like maybe that's something you could include at the end, like so if
Uh-huh.
people aren't aware of them, then they'd be like, oh, okay, so they
Good
can
idea.
access it. Because I wasn't aware that you had them anymore. I knew you had them before, but I haven't seen them in years, so.
Right. Moving on to teen, young adult.
And again, many of these questions are just things I stole from other libraries.
Number not exactly 2, I think we should put the virtual stuff on there like we did on the other one.
I think we should add TikTok to the question about what social media platforms they use.
Okay, you can see that I'm 110. And,
I
well,
haven't
Facebook.
even gotten to that part yet.
On the teen one, I have I can't say raffle, so I need to take that out. We're actually not allowed to use the word raffle. It's a state thing. We can't say bingo either. A drawing, we'll have a drawing. For all of these, like if you fill out the survey, you get a chance to be in a drawing to get something.
What type of school do you attend? Do you want to also say charter? Because we
Yeah,
have a lot of
that's a
charter
good
going
idea.
on.
There are a ton.
The
This
first question
last-
on the second page, what is your favorite thing to watch?
Okay.
But what is a thing in your mind when you're asking this? Are you talking medium, or are you walking program, or?
Yeah, I guess I do need to be more clear on that. Maybe have a list underneath, anime or YouTube videos of cats or, whatever. Have that on their videos,
You mean type of,
DVDs.
you mean
yeah.
type of programming?
Type of programming, but also format. Like, I doubt too many teens are checking out DVDs. I can
Yeah,
certainly run a
no.
report on that.
I would not.
But they're probably looking at a lot of YouTube videos, probably
TikTok.
a lot of streaming services. I'd like to know that so that I know whether or not I need to push our streaming services more for teens also.
Well, you may want to break that up into a two-part.
Okay.
What do you like to watch? you can either give them a choice or let them
What
fill
type
in
of
the
programming
blank.
and what,
And then in
conduit,
what
yeah.
medium or in what
Yeah.
delivery system do you like to watch
Okay.
that?
What times are good for you to attend programs? I think you should include like maybe one bulk one from, like 8 to 3:30 or something like that, like, because of the homeschool kids and a lot of them, and some of them can have days off, you know what I mean, in some of these
Some of them are skipping
weird
school.
schools. Yeah,
Every day.
Can we add Sunday to the?
Yeah.
or-
yeah.
On the next page, just how do you normally hear about events? I would just, instead of just Facebook, I would just put social media.
Okay.
Did we want, I don't know the answer, if, are students allowed to check out computers or,
They
Hotspots.
are, they are. There is a box on the registration form that a parent can check to allow them to.
okay. We might, if we wanna advertise that, I don't know, like we did in the other one, since they probably won't take the other one, just so they know that
Okay.
is available to them, I don't know.
For the question about the summer reading program, are we trying to find out if they participated in either, whenever this comes out, the one that is currently going on or the one from the previous summer, or is it like any time they've ever participated in the program?
Top of the
The
second
top of the third
page.
page. Because of the way it worded,
Oh,
kind of
okay.
leads to the most
Yeah.
recent one.
And honestly, that's a good idea because this will probably go out during the summer reading program this year, or it could go right after. We'll have to decide.
On the, how do you normally hear about events, maybe put my school library
Okay.
to get some of that crossover. If they're in school, they have an email account, do they not? I can't imagine a teenager,
No, if they're homeschooled, they may not. They may share one with their parent.
oh, that's so scary.
Why do we want that information?
If we do something like a teen newsletter or something like that, that's probably the medium that we would use.
I think that just say, would you be interested in a teen newsletter?
Okay.
Not, because it's just a kind of a funky question
Okay,
for that age group.
that's good.
Are you interested in being teen liaison? You could say, also put, and get credit for volunteer hours or something along that lines.
Okay, I'll put that on the other volunteer one too.
And then when you say the name to be entered into the drawing, blah, 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 this day and age, you might put a caveat of your information will not be shared.
That's
It's
good.
safe to do this.
Yeah.
Just
I would put, I'd put other comments above that. I would totally end with that.
Okay.
Just for my like kind of own understanding of how are the librarians defining still this target like young adult? Because I know in the age we're talking if you're older than 18. So do they have like a cutoff where they're kind of looking?
In the teen area, the cutoff, I believe, is 18. Is it 18? Yeah. So that's 13 to 18 in the teen area. And it's about that. But I mean, it could be. For programming purposes, we try to keep pretty strictly to the age groups, just because you start getting into a real murky area when you're dealing with older teens and young and 13-year-olds. For the different areas of the library, we don't restrict people from going in there to get materials, but we do restrict them from hanging out in there. So an adult can't just go hang out in the kids area without a child with them, and an older teen over the age of 18 can't just marinate over in the teen space.
But there's no like dedicated programming for like 18 to 21.
No,
Like that transition
but we do,
time.
we have 18 and up, but we don't do the necessarily 18 to 21. but we could. I need another librarian though.
Um,
Do you, for the, it's back to the first page, like the fourth question, when you check out books, what type of things do you like to read? Did we already talk about that one?
I'm sorry?
Did we already talk about that one? Okay, so like, are we looking for genre there, or like,
We could do, I would, if I were gonna do one on genre, I'd probably make that its own standalone question. But format also important. We do have a lot of, e-resources. We just added Comics Plus, so I'm interested in knowing if those are actually gonna be used. I had heard from one of our youth librarians that kids actually prefer books, in that age group than they do, ebooks. So I'm wondering when that transition's gonna happen, or is it happening already and we just don't realize it? So, but yeah, I mean, we could add one on genre.
so you're looking for, like, what would a good answer be for that question?
It would be pick all that apply, I think.
Okay.
It wouldn't be just pick one. Or, yeah. And then for, we could do a separate one for genre. But I think our, yeah, we can do a separate one. And again, I have not gotten these back from my youth librarians, so as soon as they put their comments on there, I will email that out to you guys. Because they may tell me that I'm just completely out of my mind. I doubt it, but they might.
It does feel like a little long, so maybe if there's a couple we can eliminate. But that's
I know
hard.
that,
Well, the question right under the type of materials is almost a genre question, so that can go if we're gonna add a genre question.
I think it's kind of funny that teens are the ones most likely to give you free-form answers because they're so, oh, I've got to do everything my own way. But at the same time, they're the least likely to probably fill out free-form answers, so that's going to be kind of fun. Because you want to put other, because you're just like, I'm going to, tell me, teach me something here. But at the same time,
Yeah, do they have to type something if they click other? Like maybe, I don't know if that's a possibility.
yeah, I think I'd break the rules for the teens to get some answers rather than,
Yeah, we can set it up so they don't have to answer some of the questions, definitely.
maybe other and say, please explain
Yeah.
below or something like that. Throw the please in there.
I wonder if we can just have like a skip button at the bottom too, if they want to skip a whole section of the survey. We could try doing that.
That almost might be too easy.
Yeah, I
though.
don't wanna encourage
Yeah, I
it.
don't want to
Skip.
encourage skip,
Now
yeah.
I'm in it in the drawing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's not do skip.
Okay.
Just, yeah, an other that doesn't have to be filled out, but
Well-
with a please,
On this one in particular, let me rethink some of this. I'll try and pare it down a little bit, so it doesn't seem so huge and overwhelming. Because I'm one of those people too. If it's more than 10 questions, I'm just gonna be like, nah, I don't have time. I'm too busy. And again, I want to get the feedback from my librarians who this is their specialty. And then I'll make the changes to this one that we talked about, and I'll resend it. I'll make changes to both and resend
Yeah.
it to them, and then get their input and bring it back.
awesome.
I will send it out before I bring it back. Just remember, Open Meetings Act, you can't discuss it amongst each other, but you can give me feedback, which I can then disseminate to the group.
All right, moving on to our last item for this evening, appointing a 5-year plan committee.
Yay, it's that magic time of year.
Is it ever not that magic time?
No, and it's gonna be even more fun, because right after that, we have policy review.
That seems,
that's gonna be fun.
that's like
I know, we
every
do it
other
a
week.
lot, we do it a lot. But things are changing so fast that we need to, it's something that we always have to be aware of.
So-
5-year plan committee is generally the officers. of the library board. So let me explain how the whole 5-year plan thing works. So the officers of the library board can meet with me because it's not a quorum, so it doesn't violate Open Meetings Act. It's a subcommittee. So basically, we go over the 5-year plan, add, delete, edit. We will be looking very closely at the Aspire 2040 plan that you guys looked at and our 5-year plan, and making sure that we're aligned with the city's overall comprehensive plan. Then those suggestions are then brought to the library board, and the library board then will go over them all and have their input and their feedback, which all gets integrated into a final document, which gets sent to the city council, and it has to be sent by the 31st of December. So we have plenty of time. And it honestly doesn't take quite as long as it sounds like it does. So, you want to appoint your committee?
Sure. I assume the appointment is myself, Jillian, and Matt.
And then motion to approve and.
Motion to approve this committee.
Aye.
A second?
Second.
George.
Okay. So, 5-year plan committee, I will send out the current 5-year plan to you guys. And the Aspire 2040 comprehensive plan. It is a huge document. That is a huge document. So we'll look at our portion of that document. And right now, thanks to Daniel's input on the 2040 comprehensive plan, we are pretty in line with what the city wants to do. So I don't think that we're going to find any huge, oh my God, we're not doing any of that. But there's always ways that we can improve it or add additional things, especially right now. It's going to be difficult because we don't know until we get that needs assessment back and where we need to be thinking as far as space goes and facilities. I mean, it could go a number of ways. It could be an expansion. It could be an additional library. It could be library vending machines around the city until we get a branch, because a branch, even if we were to get it and we had a bond election and all that and it passed and blah, 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 that is a really long process. So we need to look at interim steps to serve the outlying portions of the city, as well as looking forward to possibly another facility or a larger facility here. So there's all that.
Are we gonna be meeting on a separate date for that?
We can do a Zoom meeting for that. I believe I'll need to check with the city secretary, but I think we can because it is not an open meeting. It's not a public meeting. It's a subcommittee meeting. So
Oh, that's nice.
Um,
We usually cram ourselves into her office.
yeah, we can do that too. But right now it kind of smells like cat pee in there.
I wouldn't want to be in there.
And I'm getting a dog from the shelter in there tomorrow.
Oh, what kind of dog? See, now you got my interest. I love the cats
He
are
is
cool,
a
don't get
mutt,
me wrong,
and
but-
his name is Stark, and apparently he has gotten very, very bored over there. Some dogs get kennel stress, and some get really bored. Some of the cats do too. So he's been eating rocks to entertain himself, which, and now that he's back from the vet and is recovering from his rocks, he's gonna come over to the library for a little while. On a daily basis, he will go home there at night, unlike the cats, which can stay overnight. Leaving a 1-year-old dog here by himself is trouble. But he will be able to come here and get more social interaction with people of all kinds and hopefully not be as bored.
What kind of ish dog is he? I'm
He
sure.
is a mix. I have no
Of
idea.
course.
He's a mutt, and he has those ears that kind of have not decided whether they're going to stand up or not,
Nice.
which I love. And he looks like trouble. He's got a little tuxedo on.
Aw.
Yeah, I already love him. I haven't even met him. My husband will die if I bring home another dog, which will not stop me from bringing him.
Yeah, exactly. All right, do we have any other questions or anything that we want to chat about? All righty.
All right, you guys.
Again, welcome, Holly.
Thanks.
And we have a motion to close.
I'll second. If
I need a first motion.
Motion.
Motion and a second from Holly. We do adjourn at 18:45.
I'll probably go ahead and